Much. So joining me now, Republican Congressman Sean Duffy and Matt Bennett, former Deputy Assistant to President Clinton. Welcome to both of you. Good to have you here.
Hey,
Congressman Duffy, let me start with you. What do you make of these latest revelations regarding Fusion GPS and Glenn Simpson?
Yeah, listen, it reeks to high heaven, Martha. I mean, you have a situation where Simpson with Fusion GPS won't release his bank records, won't talk to us about his connection with Hillary Clinton and the DNC. And frankly, I think Americans want to know. I mean, I think Americans want a right to know. If we're going to look at Russia and we're going to look at campaigns, we shouldn't just look at Donald Trump. Let's look at Hillary Clinton and her involvement with Russia, which goes right through Fusion GPS. And by the way, also deals with the FBI. And this just muddies the water and brings up more questions than it answers, which is why we want to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the questions that lingers out there is whether or not the FBI used this dossier, which, as Trey Gowdy points out, was opposition research. It was not research. It was not reporting. It was not verified. So if they use that to unmask individuals in the Trump administration or to push forward their investigation, they have a problem with that, Matt.
I don't think so. The FBI doesn't have to meet a standard of proof that you'd use in court when they're doing an investigation. They can operate on hunches. That's how investigations work. But I will agree with Congressman Duffy on one point, Martha.
No, hold on one second. Hold on one second. If you're going to unmask individuals, you have to prove that there's a national security threat that underlies it. You have to prove, to get the ability to do that, to unmask those individuals, that there's substantial evidence underlying it.
Right. So I am completely comfortable with there being an investigation to find out whether the FBI acted improperly in this case or not. It doesn't matter. What Congressman Duffy said, though, is right. This is muddying the waters, and it's muddying the waters at a moment when the President of the United States is still acting in ways that are totally inexplicable as it relates to the President of Russia. He is acting like Neville Chamberlain in the face of Vladimir Putin, as opposed to like the leaders of Britain and Spain, who yesterday came out very strongly and said Russia is meddling in our elections and it has to stop.
Hey, Martha, we should be very clear that there's been no evidence, whether it's James Comey or Clapper or Senator Feinstein, that Donald Trump has colluded with any Russians. The only collusion that we've seen is between Hillary Clinton and the Russians. And by the way, with the FBI, it's concerning that you have this sleazy dossier that James Comey hasn't verified and goes and briefs then President-elect Donald Trump and has it leaked to the media, giving credibility to the sleazy dossier, which in the end gives us this investigation on President Trump. This whole thing is again, it reeks of high heaven, and I think we need a special counsel to actually take a look at what actually happened, not just with the dossier, but also what happened with Uranium One, what happened with the Clinton Foundation. There is too much smoke here. I think there's a fire.
Well, as Trey Gowdy points out, and I think you agree, Matt, we have a Justice Department to handle that. You don't need to call a special counsel in for everything that drops from the tree.
Right, and your own Shep did a great job of dismantling the Uranium One story, which is a load of nonsense. Let me just say, there is zero evidence that Secretary Clinton or her campaign colluded with the Russians. That just isn't true, Congressman.
That's not true,
and I didn't say, wait a minute, I didn't say the president had colluded. I said he's acting incredibly weirdly with the relation to Russia, and he matters a whole lot more than she does right now.
All right.
But Democrats,
we're going to have to agree to disagree. I got to leave it there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. We'll pick it up
Thanks,
another
Martha.
time.